Gervonta Tank Davis just announced his fight versus Jake Paul, and someone, I saw a screenshot, someone in his comment section told him something along the lines of, "I love you, I'm a big fan, I'm gonna be praying for you." And Gervonta Davis responded by saying, "I'm gonna definitely need your prayers for this fight." What does that tell you, ladies and gentlemen? That tells you that Gervonta Davis, even though he's one of the most skilled fighters in our era, he is one of the most devastating punchers in our era, but he fully realizes that this fight, I mean, listen, I'm just gonna be completely honest. He gotta take this fight like it is the biggest and most dangerous fight of his life versus Jake Paul. Not because Jake Paul is this elite level of a boxer. No, ladies and gentlemen, but because size simply matters. And we're not just talking about size difference of one division or two. No, we're talking about a, I mean, you can call Gervonta Davis a lightweight, but you can even make the case that Gervonta is a 30-pounder, because in his last fight versus Lamont Roach, the 130-pound champion, looked bigger than the 135-pound champion in Gervonta Davis. But, like I said, we are not talking about regular size here, regular size difference. We're talking about a 30-pounder, 35-pounder going up against a cruiserweight slash heavyweight. And I don't think that we have ever, and I mean ever, seen anything like this before. And that is what makes this contest, even though we still don't have confirmation that this fight won't be a professional bout, but I'm assuming that it won't be. It will probably end up being an exhibition, because Nikisa Bedarian just came out and he said this fight might actually be sanctioned as a pro fight. Stay tuned. He said nothing is official when it comes to this fight being an exhibition or a pro bout. He just literally came out and said this. But more than likely, I'm assuming that this fight will stay as an exhibition. But even though in an exhibition, no winner will be announced if the fight goes the distance. But let me tell you this, I promise you, Jake Paul is coming to knock Tank out. He's coming to take Tank's head off. And listen, Gervonta got all the skills. He got all the power. He got the explosiveness. He got the accuracy. He got the accolades. Anything and everything that you can think of. He got everything except one thing. The size. And size, not only will it matter in this fight, but it might just be the only thing that matters. I mean, listen. We're not talking about Gervonta Davis fighting a cruiserweight slash heavyweight who's a bum. Jake Paul, you can say whatever you want and you can label and you can stick whatever label you want on the man. But one thing you cannot say about Jake Paul is that he's small. One thing you can't say about Jake Paul is that the man can't punch. The man is big, he's strong, he's young, and he is punching, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, punchers are born. And if you go back and watch all his fights, from the YouTuber days to the horrible boxer days to the former champion MMA fighters to the former champion boxers, the man always shows one thing. He might not always show the best boxing skills, but one thing he always shows is knockout power, ladies and gentlemen. And when you combine knockout power with a ridiculous size difference, crazy things can happen. Interesting things can happen. Shocking things can happen. Anything can happen. And that is what scares me about this fight. Let's be honest, we all want Tank. I'm not sure if we all want this to happen, but I mean, if you had the perfect scenario, you can choose what can happen in this fight. We probably all choose Gervonta to Knock him out. Knock Jake out. Not because I don't like Jake. I actually love Jake Paul. I think that the man is entertaining. The man puts on phenomenal shows. The man puts on unbelievable undercard. I mean, his last undercard, that fight, Julian Rodriguez versus the MVP, the guy who signed to MVP. I'm not too sure what the man's name is, but he was a prospect who had like 18 out of 19 wins by knockout. That was one of the best fights you will ever see, ladies and gentlemen, or at least one of the best fights you will see in 2025. And let's not even talk about Jake Paul's undercard when it comes to hosting the biggest and greatest female fight of all time, Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. All I'm saying is this, ladies and gentlemen. Jake Paul brings controversy and he brings unbelievable boxing cards. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, for this fight, we are gonna get an unbelievable undercard, especially because the fight will be broadcasted on Netflix. So the man, no question, will deliver. But getting back to the concerns that I have, at least, when it comes to this contest, this exhibition, this fight. I mean, you can label this whatever you want, but this is a fight. When two men are put in a ring and they're throwing heavy leather, this is a fight. This is a fight. Now, the gloves will be bigger. It will be, I believe, 12-ounce gloves. But I would be shocked for even to be 12 ounce. I don't think that this fight will, their gloves will be at least 14 ounce, I believe. At least 14 and probably 16 even, maybe. So I'm not too sure what to expect from this fight. But one thing that I am expecting is dangerous moments for Tank. I mean, can Gervonta actually knock out Jake Paul? Of course, anything can happen in a fight. But I just can't seem to get out of my mind Gervonta's last performance. And let me tell you this. If this fight happened 3 years ago, I would pick Tank to knock out Jake Paul. Because Tank was mean, was violent, and was hungry. But now, he doesn't seem to be interested in anything that's related to boxing. All that he's concerned about is cashing out and retiring. And I can't blame the man. The man grew up in the Headbangers gym, the Barry Hunter gym. And if you know anything about that gym, I mean, it is full contact sparring since for everyone. Kids, youth, amateurs, pros, grown men, everyone tries to take one another's heads off in sparring sessions. And Tank's been dealing with that. And he actually even came out in an interview and talked about this. He talked about that he wishes that he didn't spar much when he was a kid because he believes that it took a toll on his brain and body. And that is 1,000,000% fact, ladies and gentlemen. So, if I was in his place, I would probably do the same thing. I would probably look for the biggest spectacle and biggest fight and cash out and leave the sport that more times than not, this sport leaves you before you leave it. Meaning, most fighters retire broke. Most fighters retire punch drunk. Most fighters retire with brain damage or with severe injuries when it comes to the head or the body. But when you look at someone like Tank, who made a lot of money, who's 30 years old, still young, still ambitious, I mean, he still got a lot of goals in life. Life is not only boxing, but this is where it gets dangerous. You see, when Devin Haney forgot about legacy, and the man just started to think about money, and he fought Ryan just purely for the money, and he changed his way from fighting for legacy to fighting for money. It ended up horribly for him, incredibly bad. Devin will never be the same. I mean, Devin, I love Devin Haney. I actually know the man. I've spoken to him a million times. I've met him a few months ago when I went to New York. And I love Devin Haney. I absolutely love the man. I will be rooting for Devin Haney forever. But Devin Haney doesn't love the sport the way that he used to love the sport. Devin Haney's heart and Devin Haney's mindset changed after that Ryan fight. He will never be the same, not because his chin is gone, but he will never be the same because before that fight, he never saw the side to boxing. He never saw how much the fans can turn on you and how much pressure and how much scrutiny you can be faced with and how much damage he took. I mean, the man was dropped like 5 times in one night. The man went from never being dropped to being dropped. I mean, they counted 3 knockdowns, but it was way more than that. And this is what happens more times than not when fighters stop chasing legacy and just purely become money hungry. Things end up bad. Let's just hope and pray that things don't end up bad for the pride of Baltimore, Maryland, the 3-division champion, the charismatic, the hard-hitting, the hero for all the kids in Baltimore, Maryland, Gervonta Abdulwahid Tank Davis.